Country Forum today being brought to you by Banner Payson Medical Center, George Henry Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, At Your Service Cleaning and Tree Service, and ITD Group Computer Services. Good Friday morning, 4.5 minutes past 9 o'clock, 56 degrees, again looking for that high of 63. And yep, it's Friday, and you know what that means? Telling us everything we ever needed to know and more about what's playing at the Sawmill Theaters, your hometown movie guys, Tina, Andy, and Craig in the studio, cameraman Don standing behind me, and we're having a good time here at the Radio Ranch this morning. And let's see here, I gotta push a couple other buttons, including your microphone buttons. How y'all doing this morning?
I'm great. Craig says he's grumpy.
Oh,
so
it's
he can be the grump today.
Someone else's turn to be grumpy.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. So
look at him.
Hey, Craig.
How
how's it
grumpy
going?
does that look?
Hey, look at the bright side. It's Friday, and Andy, a movie critic extraordinaire, Star Valley Town Council member, a Republican activist, and a bunch of other
His
things.
His
His highness. I don't want to see your crown. How's life?
Just couldn't hardly be much better. I'm happy as two little clams in a pod.
And
by the way, if anybody's interested, they can read my review of Pokemon in today's paper in the Payson Roundup.
And you mentioned in that there were some, shortcomings in the script itself and the writing of this movie, in your opinion? Your most humble opinion, I might add.
Yes, in my humble opinion, because after all, have I ever written a movie script? No, I have not.
Well, there you go. But so you like the movie, though, Pokemon?
I thought it was okay for little kids.
Yeah.
Didn't have much in there for grown-ups. Sometimes these movies, like the Despicable movies,
Oh, yeah.
will just be chock full of interesting stuff.
I could watch a movie just with the Minions and be thoroughly entertained.
Yeah,
At the same time, the kids are having a good time. I am too.
Yep, there you are, and not so much with this one.
All right, this is Pokemon Detective Pikachu. In a world where people collect Pokemon to do battle, a boy comes across an intelligent talking Pikachu who seeks to be a detective. It's rated PG, so it's good for all ages. Plays at 1, 4, and 7. And at the 1 and 4 showings, it plays in 2D and 3D, the 7 o'clock showing in 2D only. And of course, we still have the Avengers Endgame showing at the Sawmill Theaters. And when it comes to that one, Craig, how's that? I know it's been doing like blockbusters nationally and internationally. How's it been doing locally?
It's done well. It's slowed down at this point.
Is this the third week now?
It came out on the 26th of April.
Oh, okay,
So yeah,
it's about a month.
you're into
So interesting, and that's the Avengers assemble one more time in order to restore order to the universe, and it plays at 1:30 and 6:30. Both of those show in 2D and 3D.
That one is now number 2 all time.
Number 2 all time. What second only to Avatar?
Avatar.
Really?
It
And,
just passed up the Titanic.
and I imagine it's probably creeping up on Avatar here pretty quick too.
Got about 300 million left on that.
Wow.
Avatar did just crazy amounts of money.
Right. That was a great movie, and I understand they've got 3 more of those slated to come out.
3 or 4 starting, I think, next year now.
Wow. So the blue people will be back.
We'll be back, yes.
Interesting, that'll be fun to watch. But the Avengers Endgame, let me see if I can get this right. Now, Tina, have you been to see this one,
No.
in a word? And Andy, I know you've been to see this, though, right?
You betcha. I loved it. I thought it was just great. And one of the things I think that people that maybe don't fully realize with the Avengers movie, this one in particular, is the quality of the cast. There are approximately 20 people, 20 different actors in this movie that have been either awarded an Academy Award or have been nominated for Academy Award.
Wow.
So these are not, just some schlubs. These are the
Yeah, I hate
top.
those schlubs.
These are the top actors that are working today that are in this movie.
So these are award-winning schlubs.
No, they're award-winning, terrific actors.
Oh, all right. And now, again, that's the Avengers. Again, plays at 1:30 and 6:30, and you can see either in 2D or 3D, either one that you like.
No, 2D. Oh, 2D only.
Oh, 2D only?
Yes.
Okay, I'm
2D
looking
starting
at
today, yes.
I was looking at last week's sheet, sorry about that. What about the...
And by the way, this is still #1 at the box office.
so far for compared to everything else that's playing currently.
Correct.
Wow, very interesting, and not bad after being out there almost a month. Now, what about the Mustang? Now, that movie, a convict is given a chance to participate in a rehabilitation program training wild Mustangs. It's rated R, plays at 1:30, 4:30, and 7:30. How's this one been doing, Craig?
Yeah, still hanging in there.
Yeah.
This will definitely be its last week, so
Right.
it'll leave on Thursday, but it's been really steady for us.
Good. And now, Tina, this is one that you actually went and saw, right?
Yes, I loved it, and it's an odd, sort of sorrowful movie.
Right.
But really, I mean, for one thing, the great Bruce Dern is in it, and I love Bruce Dern. He's hung in there and aged into character actors that are wonderful. But it's a very slow and kind of pensive movie.
Hmm.
And it's not airy-fairy and it's not all sugary, but there are moments of sweetness in it. The relationship between the man and the horse is very, very realistic, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I really, as I did last week, I encourage everybody to go see this.
And Andy, your opinion?
Finally, after many weeks, it's been out for at least 5-6 weeks.
You finally went to see it?
No, no.
Oh,
No, but the
well,
movie-
you finally are listening to me.
The movie finally has broken the $5 million mark.
Just 5 million.
5 million. And remember, the Avengers movie is 2,500,000,000 and some odd million.
Wow.
So it's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. Very small movie, intimate, intense, and I think a movie that really deserves to be seen.
What did they pay to make that movie?
Hardly anything at all. They made it and then they sold it to somebody at, I think at,
Canes?
what's that movie festival in
Canes or Sundance?
Sundance, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then they sold it to a distributor at Sundance. So they spent very, very little on this.
Huh. Interesting. So they're actually in the black now.
I think they are. And a very important movie. The subject matter is so important that it deserves to be seen.
Right. Well, now we've got, those are movies that have been playing here for a while, but we have some new movies that, matter of fact, are just starting today. And the first of which, speaking of, heartwarming stories and things like that, there's a movie that is rated PG, so it's good for the whole family, called A Dog's Journey. And a dog finds the meaning of his own existence through the lives of the humans he meets. This plays at 1, 4, and 7. What do we know about this movie so far, Craig?
Well, this is a sequel. This is the second one.
Right.
And this is basically a dog is kind of goes through a series of reincarnations to be with his family, and comes back as he passes away and then comes back as another dog, and it's helping them kind of go through their life, and some of their things, and that's the.
So and it's one of the sad parts of having a dog is they don't live very long, and so you say goodbye to that dog, but then your prize-winning German Shepherd attack dog comes back as a nippy little Chihuahua or
Corgi
something.
Yes, yeah, house back, yes. So yeah, this is the first one did really good for us up here. Payson really enjoyed it, and this should be another good one.
Outstanding. Now another one that just to me sounds like it would be a riot to watch, and it also starts today, a movie called Poms, as in like pom-poms. Poms is a comedy about a group of women who form a cheerleading squad at their retirement community, proving that you're never too old to, quote, bring it. This sounds like it could be kind of a fun one. She's still grumpy.
I'm
Okay.
not grumpy,
Oh, okay.
I'm just,
You're in denial.
I'm going to, well, yeah, I'm in Egypt.
Yeah.
I've heard that it is not wonderful. I think this theme is kind of, I don't know, I mean, I'm of the age where I should be in the retirement home with these people, and I would never do what they did.
So what you're saying is the reason you don't like this is you just don't want to be a cheerleader.
No, I'd rather be a yoga teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
No cheering in yoga class.
Yeah, we cheer.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Pom-poms?
No.
Okay. All right. Anyway, I think that sounds like it'd be a fun one, actually. Plays at 1, 3:10, 5:20, and 7:30. And to me, I I like a good comedy, you know, there's enough seriousness in the world, give me something to just sit down and smile at for a while, and I'm a happy guy.
Sure, you know, it's Diane Keaton stars in this one.
Oh, I haven't seen her in anything in a while.
Yeah.
Well, and
been
she's a
bit.
great comedian actress.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and actually I've talked to some people who saw this and they said it was very funny, they
Right.
enjoyed it. I think that kind of, you know, it's a retirement home, and I think the message they're trying to put here is, you know, don't sit around and wait to go. You know, live your life. You know, enjoy it.
Sure.
You know.
Well, that I.
Because when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, yes, yeah. You know, well, there's no, you know, no point in sitting and pondering that. You know,
Yeah.
you're here and enjoy it. And
That sounds interesting. Now, Andy, this Palms movie, first of all, is there any movie that's ever made you smile or laugh?
Sure.
Don't remember what it was.
Not
but,
today,
yeah,
right?
No, but I mean, what do you think?
My little chickadee.
My little
yeah.
chickadee. Go away, boy, you bother me.
Really, duck soup? Yeah.
15 minutes
Sure.
past 9 o'clock. What do you think about
Yeah.
this? I mean, do we know much about the movie as far as...
Yeah, it's already been out in the rest of the galaxy, but just coming to Payson now. The critics haven't liked it, and the people that go to the movies haven't liked it either.
But other than that,
Yeah, it took in $7 million last week,
right?
which is cool only if you're the Mustang.
Right. How much did they pay to make this? you know?
45 million.
Oh, they got a ways to go then.
Yeah, this is made by an outfit called STX production company, and they're the same people that gave us here a month or so ago gave us Ugly Dolls.
And that was a big hit too,
That
right?
was an epic fail.
Yeah.
And this one, in spite of the great cast, we had Diane Keaton, Pam Grier, and Rhea Perlman.
Wow, all three of those I haven't seen anything in a while.
All names that, you know.
Great Pam Grier,
that- yeah.
Jackie Brown.
There
Yes.
you are, yeah.
Rhea
All names that
Perlman's always
we're
great,
familiar
yeah.
with. So, you know, whatever the flaws in the movie might be, it's not because of the cast.
Yeah, interesting. Well, now, and again, that's another one of the ones that's just coming to Payson today, but perhaps another that is just starting today looks like it's going to be a huge smash hit. And we're going to tell you about what that movie's all about when we come back after a quick break. Again, if you have a comment or question for the movie guys this morning, matter of fact, oh goodness, we have a caller on the line. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum, good morning.
Wait since the beginning of
No, I
time.
didn't think they were still there. Oh, I've been sitting off the hook for a
Got
while.
you.
Oops, sorry about that. Hey, if you have a comment or question, feel free to give us a call. Now the phone line's open at 474-2427. We'll be back with more right after. Get to that here shortly. Meanwhile, we're talking with the movie guys on Rim Country Forum. Coming up a little later in the hour, by the way, we have some folks from the Gary Hart Memorial Rodeo that are going to be in the studio with us. Donnie Landis, Barrelman and Clown, Reed Flake, their announcer, and one of the competitors, Corey Smith, going to be in giving a little bit of his perspective from the competitor standpoint, and that's all coming up a little later in the hour. Right now, they're talking with the movie guys, and we're going to talk about the one more movie that starts today. We want to get to that in just a second, but we have a caller on the line, so let's find out what's on their mind. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning.
In movies. That's one of the things I find somewhat entertaining,
This guy is
analyzing the continuity and stuff like that. Well, in the movie The Wild Bunch, they group supposedly robs a bank in Texas, and they escaped towards Mexico. Well, in that part of the getaway scene, if you're noticing, since the headwaters of the Rio Grande is in Colorado and flows down to the Gulf of Mexico, you would think it would go from right to left. If you're trying to go towards Mexico,
And
across the river, and river is flowing left to right.
so maybe they had the camera on the other bank, huh? Just one of the troubling things about movies that keep us all scratching our head. I'm not, I don't think I've ever had that particular perplexity, if there is such a word, but interesting point. Thanks for calling with that. And anybody else have a?
Yeah, in my book, A Gross of Zombies, I review a zombie movie that is so bad, a character has a rifle in his hand and crosses from one room into another, and when he gets into the next room, he has a shotgun in his hands. So continuity problems are with us always.
Especially in the zombie movie.
Especially in the studio.
Yeah, some truth to that too. Hey, the other movie that's playing, thankfully we'll finally get to this, is one that I'm anxious to see, and it's John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum. Super assassin John Wick is on the run, and with a $14 million price tag on his head, he is the target of hitmen and women everywhere. It's rated R. I imagine it's got a lot of bang up, stuff in it. Plays at 115, 415, and 715. And these other John Wick movies, Craig, have been big hits.
Oh yeah, these are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really are. Watch
Action
Keanu
packed.
Reeves, killing bad guys, and the director is actually a stuntman. So he's very big on that whole, action sequences and things.
Right.
And these are really good, and this is good stuff.
Yeah, and Keanu trains. That boy trains. He's really good.
You seem to
Yeah.
kind of have a fixation there.
Well, I just like what he does, and I like his.
Like
I like
standing there in front of the camera, you mean?
No,
No?
not necessarily. I mean, it's not like he's this heartthrob or anything. He just has a really sort of zen presence on screen, and his movies are so varied. I mean, I just looked up a couple of the ones, and the ones that I really love. My favorite is The Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate, that was
That
good.
is just.
And he was well known for his part in The Matrix.
And The Matrix,
Yeah.
right.
And I would say in both of those, kind of like that zen-like,
Yes.
like maybe he's been to your yoga class or something.
Very well, yeah, maybe he could teach my yoga class. Yeah, but he really is, I like watching him do martial arts because apparently he is the bona fide genuine article, and he does train.
Wow, very interesting. Now, Andy, do we have any numbers as to what they paid to make this next John Wick movie?
Yes, we do.
And what would those
And
numbers be?
let's take these in order, okay? The first John Wick movie, they made it for 20 million.
Mhm.
It grossed 89 million.
Wow,
So, I mean, very, very successful.
nice ROI.
The second one, they spent 40 million, grossed 172.
Very nice.
And this is before DVD or television rights.
Right. But wait, there's more.
Yes, there is. This one, they spent 55 million, and I expect that this will be very, very successful as well.
Wow.
And one of the great cast too, Keanu.
Keanu. He has a Hawaiian name, for Pete's sake. You have to pronounce all those vowels. Yes.
Keanu Reeves.
Well, maybe with his
And
last name, we
you
should
just
go
gotta-
Reeves.
You gotta,
Reeves.
you gotta say it like you got your mouth half full of poi.
Oh, yeah.
But also in this movie, for some reason, is Halle Berry.
Ah,
And as a movie reviewer said of her in her performance in The Flintstones, when she was about 19, he said, the always watchable Halle Berry.
Yes, she
And
is.
that certainly has not changed.
I would concur.
Ian McShane reprises his role. Lawrence Fishburne also returns. What's his name? Lance Reddick was a very, very distinctive looking actor. He's very tall, and his skin is really tight against his face, kind of giving him a kind of skull-like look. But he's very distinctive, and one of my favorite actors. He's really good. But also an extra surprise, Angelica Houston.
Haven't seen her in anything in a while.
Yeah. So I mean, great cast. They spent more money on it. And before we get booted off here, John Wick is referred to as the Baba Yaga.
Oh, yes, Baba Yaga. That's a Russian. Oh my gosh, how do I even know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Baba Yaga. It's a Russian sort
kind of a witch.
a myth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's from Russian mythology.
Yes.
And she's
Oh,
kind of an
Baba
evil
Gaga?
Yeah.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
Sounds like
Yeah.
it's like the name came from an infant or something.
Yeah. Baba is a baby's way of saying babushka.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're
I always
right.
wondered.
Babushka Yaga.
Yeah, and it's a very scary presence that you
Yes.
use to scare the kids, you know.
Right.
Don't go out in the woods, a Baba Yaga will eat you.
Yes.
You will be devoured by
So
the Baba Yaga.
John Wick is all Baba Yaga?
Yes, and
Cool.
I think, and there's nothing in the movie to indicate this, but I think that John Wick is actually the embodiment of the Baba Yaga.
Ooh.
Now, I understand too that this movie, Craig, was not necessarily easy to get here in Payson. And that, I guess there's my understatement of the week.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
part of
why
my
he's grumpy.
grumpiness,
Yeah.
yeah. No, they really did, the studio for this picture kind of fought with us and started yesterday threatening to pull the movie. So that's some of the stuff we go through that you know, to fight to get these things. We actually were prepared to bring in another movie and everything. This was really close, and this is just something on the studio's end, and we managed to get it straightened out, but it took about 6 hours of jumping through hoops.
Pretty happy about
So,
that?
oh yeah,
Yeah. Hey, what do you, what are some of the other movies, we're almost out of time, what are some of the other movies that we can expect to see at the Sawmill Theaters coming up soon?
Well, you know, the next big one is going to be next Friday is Aladdin.
Ah,
Yeah, another Disney film coming up. That's
and I've seen some of I've seen the trailer on that, and it looks like, as far as the, you know, flying on a magic carpet with what's-her-face, it looks like it's
Yeah.
very, very believable as far as the special effects.
kind of a musical on this one too.
I'm
so
not sure her name
everyone's
is really
gonna-
what's-her-face, but anyway.
I think it's something everyone's going to like, and you know, of course, next week we're into summertime.
Yeah,
Kids are out of school.
so a lot more action hero type traffic coming this way?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, a bit of a mix there too. You know, we're talking real quick. We haven't really kind of finalized this yet, but for the summertime, June and July, we're wanting to do kids movies
Oh, yeah,
on Mondays and Thursday mornings. I think we'll start them at 11 o'clock.
nice.
Just be like a classic kids movie, kind of like we do on the you know,
Nice.
first Saturday, but we're doing I might do Shrek and you know stuff like that. $5 to get in, and then we've got a little snack box that we're going to do. It's a small drink, small candy, small popcorn for $5 also.
Wow.
So something for the kids to do on Mondays and Thursdays, and we'll be releasing that schedule here pretty quick.
So you stay-at-home parents is a good way to keep your kids occupied
Yes.
for a couple hours and give them some food, and you
There
can
you go.
maybe go check out one of the other movies playing
And
at Sawmill
prepare
Theaters.
for the classic movie for June,
Which
My
is?
Fair Lady.
Ah, My Fair
Oh,
Lady, that'd be
yes,
interesting
I
to
could have
see.
danced all night.
Ah, yes. Hey, before we're out of time though, we do have another caller on the line. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum, good morning. So are there any plans for the movie?
You know,
Plans?
that's one that I don't think we're bringing up here at this point. It's just kind of drifted in the past now, and with the summertime coming, we're just not going to have space for it.
Right, and that was, that's one, very much a pro-life movie, talking about abortion, right?
Yes, yes.
Interesting. I'd like to see that one, but apparently it doesn't get to all the different markets, and it's not gonna be here.
Now, and caller, just to kind of inform the people out there in Radio Land, Unplanned was a movie of, what, I don't know, 1,100 or so prints, and typically Payson doesn't even get on the list until it hits about 3,000.
Very limited release.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people get mad at the theater. It's not the theater's fault. And of course now, time has passed and we're into Disney blockbuster season, and there's just no room in the schedule to bring in a small movie like that,
Right.
no matter how important it is. But what people have done in the past here in Payson is organize themselves to see that movie as a group, and that's been done in the past
Oh.
successfully. So
Very interesting.
that's something to keep in mind.
Well, speaking of being out of time, we're out of time with our hometown movie guys this morning. We definitely appreciate you tuning in and listening. Matter of fact, you can find out what's playing at the Sawmill Theaters at any time by just going to sawmilltheaters.com, or you can call 602-377-0719. Thanks to our hometown movie guys. We'll look forward to talking to them next Friday in a little more depth.